Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, July 1, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. When we are able now, but once we discover to feel the oneness between the spiritual and material world, and manifesting our material dream life and the road to enlightenment are two sides of the same coin. When we, as a people, embrace our natural manifesting abilities, we must also open the doors for a greater spiritual depth inside, which is needed to balance everything out. We cannot be fully enlightened unless we are enjoying our connection with the vibrant, rich matrix of powerful manifesting energy that exists in quantum particles all around us, and is what we refer to as the material world. We also cannot totally enjoy any physical riches and luxuries of the material world without being relaxed and surrendered to our divine spiritual energy of our core. Now, if you were to look around, and you said to someone, everything around you is energy. It's complete, pure energy, and energy takes on any kind of form it chooses. And the particles in the air, all energy. In fact, it's interesting. All the energy is all that there is, ever was, ever will be, ever beyond, ever, taking on different forms. And, we inhabit physical forms. So we can experience physical form, material form. Now, if you were to ask somebody, or a group session, right? And you said, how many of you, knowing that, say you have one life, right? You enter and you have one life. Would you like another life? Because when you're not in the body and you're the God energy, right? Ball light, you don't feel any of this stuff. You don't really have feelings and emotions. You're pure energy. You're pure consciousness. So, would you not elect to do another lifetime knowing that you would experience, taste, feel love for yourself and others, happiness, joy, and bliss, and sorrow, and pain, and frustration? Would you do that again? What do you think the answer would be? Now, obviously, some of us, when we're, and I've heard people say this throughout the years, is that they can't wait to leave the body, that their life was such a mess that they just can't wait to leave it. Be free. Okay. Or they would never do this again. They would never do this again, never incarnate in a body and experience physical, material things. Like what a sandwich tastes like, turkey, chicken sandwich, chicken salad. What does it taste like? Well, you do know, it's funny because when you leave the body, you still carry that imprint. But then as time goes by, it disappears. You don't remember. You don't remember what it tastes like. Isn't that strange? You try as much you do as much as you can to rekindle that feeling and that taste, but it's fleeting. It leaves. So now, it's no different than working a job, right? How many people have you heard say that the only reason they're working the job they're working is because it pays the bills? Right? Pretty normal, regular statement. Whatever regular is. But they don't enjoy it. And I would say to graduating undergrad and grad students when I was back in the employment arena and teaching, I would tell them to find something that you really enjoy doing. If you find something that you really enjoy doing, because you enjoy doing it, it won't be like work, and you will accelerate. And everything else will take care of itself. That's what I told them. They said, what would be the number one piece of advice you could give us in locating a harmonistic job, one that's in harmony with me? And you say, well, you're the only one that knows what would be in harmony with you. So you seek that direction. See, a lot of people will become educated because they believe that's what they're supposed to do, to become educated. And then, of course, they'll attract a job opportunity. And will it be in their field? Well, their field is what they, in most cases, is what they studied. So when they've done that and they're out, sounds like they were in an educational prison, right? I just graduated. I just got out of college. And the college system, they don't know, is tainted and corrupted and manipulated. So you got to figure how many young people really do know what they truly want to do, that what they do is enjoyable. They enjoy doing it. That's the only way. Now, when you get enough people doing that, they will create situations for other people to do the things that they like to do because they'll connect with it. It's like Harry goes to work for a company. He gets out of college, right? Let's say he's got his undergrad and grad, and he goes to work. And it's for a company that puts things together. And he happens to be the data analyst in their computer department. And, of course, that's what his degree was in, computer technology. But he didn't like it. Boring. It was all he could do is get up in the morning and go to work because it was so boring. And, of course, he thought it was going to be magnificent because he figured, well, I got this education, now I can go on, I can name my own tune. So the boss says to him, I've been evaluating your work and your effort, and it's not cutting it here at XYZ. So I'm going to have to let you go. So in a way he's happy, in another way he's scared because then he doesn't have any income to pay his overhead. So he starts thinking. He goes home, sits at the kitchen table, and he says, well, I'm going to do what I enjoy doing, and whatever that may be. It may be woodworking. Who knows? And so then they go, and he gets a job with a responsibility that he enjoys doing because he's done it before. And reference-wise, right, to the other guy that hired him, of course, the company that's looking at him to hire him asks for references, so he gives his boss as a reference, okay? His boss knows he's looking for a job, so he gets a call from the future boss, and the future boss says to him, what can you tell me about Frank or Fred or whoever? Well, he didn't do well here. He seemed to be distracted at work. He didn't have much of the motivation we were looking for that we thought he would have. And if I would recommend not hiring him based upon what I experienced with him. So the boss, to become the new boss, says, thank you. And he starts thinking and he says, Well, he probably didn't enjoy what he was doing. So then he talks with Fred again and says, Fred, did you enjoy doing what you were doing over there? The company that you were fired from? He says, no, I didn't enjoy it at all. It was very difficult for me to just get out of bed in the morning and go to work. So the smart boss says, what would you like to do at my company? What would you like to do? You see, these questions have never been posed before. But my point is that in anything in this life, do what you enjoy doing. Don't do things that you feel obligated or dutiful to, right? Do things that you know you enjoy doing. Or you might jump out into the unknown and take on an opportunity that you've never done before, but it sounds intriguing. It's like I said, most of the people will end up becoming bicameral. Okay? They will not be, no, they won't become bicameral. They'll come out of bicameralism, they'll be becoming entrepreneurial. And those are the people that will no longer be unconscious, they'll be fully conscious, and they'll start up businesses. See, right now, just in our country, we have a slight, I'll just put it this way, an available employment. People, we have an issue, and it's starting to show up in many different areas. Restaurant and service industries, for instance, right? You can't find any people. U.S. Post Office, can't find any people. You start looking at all these different avenues, restaurants, factories, they can't find any people. The flight industry, 2,500 flights every day are being canceled in this country because they don't have enough pilots to pilot their airplanes. That's the bottom line. Because remember, so many of them were forced to take vaccines and boosters. And unfortunately, a lot of them are dead. There's going to be a whole new wave of avenues and entrepreneurship and new businesses and whole new directions and everything. And people will be able to choose what they want to take a shot at. Now, there's two worlds. These worlds are one world, two sides on the same coin. They are independent with each other, feeding into the other. They cannot exist without each other. If we judge something in the material world as bad, we set up an energetic block inside which stops our spiritual growth, and vice versa. It is only through surrendering to the merging of our spiritual and material nature that we find the fastest path to freedom. Ironically, you will find the experience of spiritual surrender is one of the greatest manifesting secrets that has ever been invented, and causes our dreams and desires to manifest faster than the speed of light. That's quite interesting, 186,000 miles a second. Retire into solitude, seat yourself on a clean spot, an erect position, with the head and neck in a straight line. Control all sense organs. Bow down in devotion to your teacher. Then enter the lotus of the heart and meditate here, there, on the presence of Brahman, the pure, the infinite, the blissful, Kalvaya Upanishad. It's good to know that the road towards enlightenment is the highest spiritual path one can choose to follow through life. Not because of self-realization is so challenging to discover and maintain, yet rather because it is also extremely easy and effortless. It is both effortless and ridiculously challenging, which is what makes it so enticing to explore. The mind is often too small of a container, as we know, to grasp this, and may become confused by this conundrum, which is why we haven't heard about that many enlightened beings in our Earth's history. Anyone can step into this empty of mind and spiritually awakened state instantly at any moment, since the light of consciousness is our basic nature. Depending on our programming, it may require decades of searching and efforting to set the mind aside, remain fully conscious of pure consciousness, the God, totally relaxed in your body, and eternally expanding into your cosmic spiritual nature. It is truly the greatest cosmic joke of them all, that we are trying to attain our natural effulgent state of being. We already are that. So what could be easier and harder than that? Basically, it means we must make a tremendous effort to be 100% effortless. Make a tremendous effort to be 100% effortless. So on this great journey into enlightenment, we are going to get to pass a few essential tests. What's at stake here is your life's fulfillment on the deepest levels. So you will come across many unexpected curves in the road, perhaps an enormous range of mountains to climb, a massive roadblock to leap over. Many distractions that will stop you in your spiritual tracks. All these tests make the journey even more of a wild and crazy celebration when we are sitting on top of one of these peaks or resting in the green, sunny, warm valley along the way. It's interesting that this always comes up, that people don't appreciate things that are freely given as much as those which they may feel are nearly impossible to attain. No feat that is going to push our boundaries, stretch our limits, and feels outrageous to even imagine is going to be easy to manifest. The amount of struggle, loss, and confusion along our journey is the very fuel that will eventually burn our ego away. So again, it is the universe that has invented the perfect spiritual setup. Just remember that this universe never, ever, ever, ever makes mistakes. Now, the uneasiness to that, right, that a lot of people get, they get this queasy or uneasy feeling about, the statement, the universe never makes mistakes. And what is that? What is that they can't put their finger on, that they're responding experience-wise, emotionally? Ego mind. It's not being confident in oneself, 100% trusting in oneself. and 100% faithful in oneself. This journey, this infinity journey that we're all on, which is pulling us deeper into the very moment of our life, is revealing the real reason why we're here. If you look for your path, if you look for your path into enlightenment in any place other than the now, you will miss it. It is always hidden in the most sacred place that we are least likely to look for it. Now, this statement came from Lala, 14th century North Indian mystic. Let them throw their curses if inside I am connected to what's true. My soul stays quiet and clear. Do you think God worries what people say? If a few ashes fall on a mirror, use them to polish it. No matter what happens in these lives that we're in, remember this one loving understanding. You are powerful beyond measure, beautiful beyond words, and truly an extraordinary being who has access to unlimited love, creativity, and pleasure. And yes, all this and more is available inside every one of us now. And to access it, sit in a state of wonder. Be in awe of this understanding. Try it just for a few minutes and see what happens. You might discover some resistance, denial, or perhaps the realization that this is amazing. This is amazing fact is already within you. What do you do to a civilization, right, that's asleep, that doesn't know it's a God within the body and it's not the body? What do you do with that? How do you keep that? How do you keep that happening? You distract and you misguide and you misdirect 24/7. So that Bill or John or Jane or Mary don't get to tending to their spirituality. And it's really good to know that each block that we encounter in this life is our greatest catalyst to diving into a deeper experience of our most enlightened selves. Every experience we have as human beings contains a doorway to the divine, this divine state. All that's needed is to look for the door, reach out for the golden handle, and walk on through. Picture for a moment, visualize through your heart mind that you're walking along, you're going into this hallway, right? And as you enter the hallway, there's no doors on either side. And then you keep walking forward, and you see this kind of a shimmering, brilliant light. And here's this door in front of you. It's all shimmering gold, and the handle and everything. And then you see all these people standing there, pacing back and forth. And, kind of going for the handle, pull it back. And you ask them all, what are you all doing here? What's this door? Right? And they go, it's a doorway to the divine state. And all you have to do is to look for the door, reach out for the golden handle, and walk on through. Well, then why aren't you all walking through it? We aren't ready yet. We're contemplating and discussing what's behind the door, what's going to happen to us when we go in the door. Well, do you feel what's behind the door is good? Oh, yeah, we feel it's good. Then what's stopping you? We just aren't sure of ourselves. So you say, I'm sure of myself, I trust myself, I have faith in myself and the universe. And you walk on through the door. There's nothing as easy and fulfilling as entering the sweet paradise that is within every one of our very being. It's easiest to discover this warm, fuzzy feeling inside when you are alone, in nature, quiet, and looking within yourself for many hours. To arrive at the place means letting go of the hectic outer world. Put away the busy, overly productive to-do list and devote to spend some solid quality time with you. Whatever is stopping you from making time for yourself is blocking you from experiencing the most tremendous freedom, love, and joy. So an invitation for all of you is for you to let go of your life. Emotionally, mentally, and intentionally loosen your grip and relax into your true self. You ever feel like it feels like you're grabbing onto something, you just don't, you're not letting go, and jarring and shaking and everything, you grip tighter? We're high vibrational beings. We always will be. And we're all very powerful, beautiful, and extraordinary. Letting go is not easy at first, especially when some of us are used to spending our lives living like a vice grip. So practice loosening the grip on you and try it for at least an hour every day. You might be pleasantly surprised how much you look forward to this time. And the fact is that you are worth it. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? What do you see? Your body, right? Face, hair. I'm talking about inside. What's there? Maybe when you do, what you see is seeing you, maybe not always clearly, yet we can only see aspects of ourself. Our entire self is so huge, it's too huge, too amazing, and magnificent to digest in just one sitting. It's like you can look back at your day and remember most of what happened, yet try and look back on your entire life, and even past lifetime, and digest everything in the same detailed manner. Okay? You are much bigger than the mind can conceive. And you bring that forth for yourself. Remind yourself. Okay, here's a situation where my mind is just absolutely, it's incapable. It's too small. Now, an unknown statement, which I follow, which is really very impactful, when you come to the edge of all the light you know and are about to step off into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing one of two things will happen. There will be something solid to stand on, or you will be taught how to fly. Very simple, huh? Point is, how many of us have that kind of faith in ourselves? Trust in ourselves. It's completely the unknown. To begin feeling a fraction of just how amazing you truly are, begin with letting go of any limiting beliefs that arise about you. If you think you're too nice, too old, too fat, too ugly, too poor, these are old, boring stories and excuses. Old, boring stories and excuses. And in truth, they are just tiny electrons passing through the brain, making you believe that you're in some prison. You ever felt like that? You ever felt like you've been in prison? Self-induced. Realize these are all just thoughts. That's it. And they're just passing through your consciousness in each moment. You can say, I'll take a look at this one. And you can choose, but pay attention to the good ones or the bad ones. It's totally up to you. You can easily break free from any negative or limiting beliefs running around in your mind by surrendering to loving you. Loving you. Trust in the feeling of love. Believe that love is the way. Notice how it feels to be a bit more gentle and a bit more kind with yourself. What does it feel like to accept all of your parts? Right? Real love is deep and eternal. It has no reason why it loves. It just constantly sends out gentle energy, working its magic and healing all parts of you every time. There is nothing more powerful and transformational than deep, eternal love. When you devote your day to loving you, being gentle with you, something very magical occurs. You start to feel the love that is already inside you now. Deep inside your soul is the infinite source of love, the energy of God, source, absolute consciousness. Whatever name you place on it, the energy is the same. It is creating your experience of reality in every millisecond of your life. And it is the most benevolent, brilliant, and loving source there ever will be. Everyone on this planet is all on this sacred spiritual journey together. This life is for our enjoyment, our transformation, spiritual growth, and eventually our enlightenment. We are here to enlighten the load from our past. Let go of all the heaviness we've been carrying for a lifetime. Whatever has been burdening you, blocking or frustrating, and it's not real. It seems to be not real. The very instant we clearly see what is real, then everything changes immediately. There is this great relief inside as we no longer have to fight or resist anything in this life anymore. The war is over. We can see the truth and accept that which we believed was totally unacceptable about ourselves. Accept it. It is then our greatest joy and freedom begins to settle in. There's nothing we can do to make a wrong turn in this life. Nothing. Everything is part of our destiny on an infinite highway where everything is connected. All lanes eventually reach the same infinite destination. We cannot mess up our lives, no matter how much we think we do. It is perfectly imperfect just as it is. It contains all the bittersweet and sour elements needed to release your tight grip inside yourself. Relax deeply. Find out that you are powerful, beautiful, and truly extraordinary. How many people you believe would feel so guilty about that? Undeserving. Many, many, many. On those days when you feel that you made a wrong turn in your life, where you got in trouble for not yielding to the other, where you had an unconscious moment and smashed into someone you loved, it may feel like everything is lost. Maybe you were driving with one foot on the brake, the other foot on the gas, and mainly looking backwards in the rearview mirror. And the secret here is forgiveness. Let go of whatever mistakes you've made in your life. They are last year's movie. Just observe the judgments of these movies about yourself without participating in that judgment. Welcome the experience of whatever your great error was and accept that it was a lesson teaching you something deeper about yourself and this life. Be welcoming. Whatever judgments are showing up about yourself, the judgmentaholic inside gets to step down from its pedestal. And a hint of clarity somehow naturally finds its way in. A glimmer of lightness finds its way into the deepest, darkest night of the soul. When we fully experience judgment for whatever it has to say, without holding on to any story about it, this universe has to present itself to you with full clarity. So my invitation for you this week is this. Don't resist any experience that life gives you. Don't resist any experience that life gives you. Now you're going to want to give some extra special attention to that part of you that is powerful beyond measure, the God that you are within that body. Beautiful beyond words, and truly an extraordinary being who has access to unlimited love. Any resistance is futile and just makes you contract from life. You contract from it and get even more emotionally knotted up inside. If you must resist an experience in this life, be conscious about it. Know that this is your choice, nobody else's. There is always another way to experience who you are. Try this for 1 week, and a relaxing way to experience who you are. Try this for 1 week, and a relaxing, freeing feeling will move on in. Just trust the process. Let go and surrender to what's deeper and already at peace on the inside. There is no beginning or ending in the journeyless journey to nowhere. You do not start from somewhere, and you do not end at anywhere. You are where you are, and you continue from there. Bodhidharma. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath into the nose. And an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. We were all born with the amazing natural power to manifest anything that we believe to be real. Our body and mind work in a divine synchronicity with this entire universe, pulling everything your heart yearns for to you with incredible speed and accuracy. Your only limitations in this life are your limiting beliefs. Where do you believe that you are limited? The amazing thing about these apparent limitations is that each one is also a figment of our imaginations. Nothing inside the mind is real. What's real is that which doesn't ever change. And I believe we know what that is. It's the God within these bodies, the pure consciousness. The wise masters all agree that pure consciousness is the background, which perpetually remains the same. Everything else is subject to change and is illusory. And it's all happening in this universe. Realize your personal connection with this ancient truth, and you will discover a tremendous freedom inside. You will find that the secret part of you, which is always free from any type of suffering, can never ever get stuck in any pain. Total freedom is yours now, and it naturally occurs from putting all your energy and attention into the source of pure consciousness itself. Simply notice how good it feels to drop all attachment to this crazy mind chatter. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the night, and into the following morning. We will return here Sunday, July 2, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on around you. And watch what happens.